Hey Marie. So in regards to what you're saying about your hip pinching when you're doing your back squat, just looking at your rep there, or looking at the video you put up from last week. Thanks for putting the videos on. That makes my job way easier. But what I'm seeing is a little bit of this. Okay, so we're here, and then when you start your squat, the first rep goes like knees first, and then we sit into it like this, and then we come straight back up. And then your subsequent reps are actually a little bit better, but it's always starting with that first one. So what happens when we start knee first and we're like this is, one, the fact that you can do that is actually class, because it just means that you've got really good ankles. But where the problem is coming from then is it's all quads. So your quads are pulling you down and then also pushing you back up. And basically it's just like that one muscle is doing a lot of the work. So what we want instead is a slightly wider stance, and then you're going to push your knees out as you do your squat. So instead of going here, it's going to be here. Yeah, so as my hips go back, think of it as starting hips first. My hips go back, I push knees out. Okay, so we're like this instead of this. Okay, so it's hips and knees instead of knees and hips. I know that's like a really small, subtle detail, but hopefully it makes a difference. And then what happens when I'm doing my squat is I'm initiating that down part with ass and hamstrings. So it's ass and hamstrings first, and then it's quads kick in on the way up. Okay? So what we're going to do for today's one is we're going to start it with a box squat. And the box squat, there is like lowest box. Now you'll be able to squat lower than this, but that's not the point. What we're working is that top section, yeah? So I'm going to start with a slightly wider stance. So this is usually where I do my regular squat. Okay, but for a box squat I'm going to be wider, okay? So we're going to be wider, bars on your back, and you're really going to emphasize this part, this hips back part. I sit up tall, and then we stand from there. So it's deep breath, and then I breathe out when I'm finished. So it's really emphasizing that hip drive, or that hamstring pull down into the squat. And then, like, hopefully what happens is over time what we can do is it'll become a little bit more natural to go hips, knees, instead of what's happening at the moment, which is a little bit knees, hips, which is where that pinch is coming from, I think. We'll experiment. We'll see if the box squat has the same like hip pain or discomfort as you're feeling in the regular squat, and then we'll just go from there. Okay, we'll just kind of like tick boxes until we find out where the problem is. But I think this should help anyway, if we can just tidy up how the start of the squat, or how the squat is started.